You know, I really didn't want my first video to be a rant video. Hey guys, it's Spear here, back with some long-awaited Dragon Ball trading card game content. I'm getting ready to do, the very typical things I do, R-Type 101s. I'm going to come through with a video talking about, what have we missed since this whole thing. I've been a player who's taken a hiatus since the whole thing because I just like card play way more than anything Untap offers. And to that end, I've just been waiting around and I kind of haven't really kept track with the meta. So that's coming around the line. So those are videos I've been working on. However, before then, we just had a new ban list, which changed everything. And it kind of got me vexed. So here's why. My issues with the way that the Bandai is handling the ban list right now is the fact that it really feels like pseudo rotation. Now, I'm not trying to say here that we should or should not have rotation in the game, and I do think balance is important. But the ban list for this game was originally built off the idea that we're just going to get rid of broken cards that make the game really unfun, which we've seen that with anything that stopped Storm, or even decks that didn't have over 50% win rates, kind of like Cell Chain, super unfun. They got rid of that, or that were just straight up broken. Unyielding Trunks or anything that allowed Super Shenron to happen. There were reasons for why everything was getting banned. But now that they've opened up this idea that, okay, well, you know what, guys, we're gonna give you guys a ban list every 3 months. That doesn't mean something needs to get banned every 3 months. That should be there to say, okay, there is a predictable time frame which you guys can expect something to change if something needs to get fixed or if there's an issue with the card game. And that's great. That makes sense. There needs to be predictability. And that's why I hate what I call this pseudo rotation ban list. Essentially, depending on the whims of Bandai, based on what they want the new meta to look like, they're going to ban a bunch of cards. Because they want us to play the new stuff. I get it. A business needs to make money. They need to get people to play their new stuff. Which I argue people would do anyways, because the power creep in this game is crazy. Like, outside of the really generic busted draft box cards that they keep on printing, which, that's their own problem. Don't make them so generically good. The old stuff barely gets played ever. Nothing gets played from set 1, outside, Bean. Nothing gets played from set 2. Barely anything from set 3. Set 4, and there's some stuff, but, it's just really frustrating because out of nowhere, you can lose a deck. You can lose hundreds of dollars. And this doesn't even just impact competitive players, because some non-competitive cards could fall into this cycle of hosing what's going to happen with the new set. Those get shoved away too. And there's just no way for me as a player to mitigate for that happening, outside of just hoping to sell off my stuff before any ban list and hoping I got lucky with picking what I was supposed to get. I'm fine with a ban list that's there to fix problems. That makes sense. I want to play healthy formats. I'm not okay with a ban list that's just there to essentially tell me that we want the format to look like this. Because at that point, why not just rotate? Instead, it's like rotating without the backlash of rotating. And that's where I start to get really triggered, because at this point it's like, okay, well, we have all these great strategies that would be fun to play and haven't even been proven yet. Set 10 hasn't come out yet. And yet we're going to errata some of the top tier leaders, which were generically good but not broken. They weren't winning every single tournament. They were just good cards. But we're gonna hose one to the ground. Piccolo doesn't even exist, and Surge Q is defensively not even close to what it was. Still playable. I think I would still play it, but forget that. I then host things like Android 21 that up until now has barely done anything. In decks she was included in, outside of committed Android 21 decks, one copy, 2, and it's not like monocolor decks didn't completely exist. Sure, dual color happened, and it's because dual color cards just happen to be very powerful. And she was fine when we were pushing dual color, but now that we're pushing monocolor again, she's not okay. Didn't stop black decks from being there. Even when black deck hat check was everywhere, you still only saw 2 Android 21s in any green blue deck. Yes, she would be strong. I'm not saying she wouldn't be. My issue is that we get hosed and we can't see it coming. And there's already so much unpredictability with card games in terms of new stuff just completely power creeping out old stuff, or things that we've worked on, no longer working because of XYZ, that I just don't think this is a player friendly way to go about it. I think bans should be only for problem cards, because if they're not problem cards, they won't take over the meta. Or we just rotate instead of having this kind of random rotation where, like, you know what, we don't like this top deck, this top deck, this top deck, and so we're going to get rid of this piece, this piece, this piece, and now we're not going to see them anymore. It's like, I don't know, it's such a feels like such a half-baked way of doing it, and you can't look at the ban list and tell me that's not exactly what they were trying to do. And when we go into specific bans, like, their logic for Gogeta is that because we expect games to go, past turn 4, past turn 5, and there's more interaction in the game, we don't want, big kill cards. Well, by that logic, Gogeta should have been gone like 4 or 5 sets ago. Gogeta hasn't even, like, interaction started coming in the set after Gogeta came in. Like, counterplay, tap him, get rid of him, all that stuff. No, but we're going to keep the keyword master, because he has like 5 of them in the set for... And I didn't even hate Gogeta that much. But it's just like the logic is obviously not there. It's just because they just want to push their new bombs. Or the fact that they axe ramp, saying it's going to be too good, which I think would just be great for the game to rejuvenate an old leader. But fine, so they axe ramp while also axing all the ramp answers. So now there's no real ramp answers. The only ramp answer is Dende. Ew. And, like, what? So this ramp's still going to be hella good. Like, it's... I don't know. If I want to pray every ban list to just hope my decks didn't get cucked, even though they're not the best deck in the format. And even if they were the best deck in the format, the fact that their way to get around that isn't to let the meta adapt itself or to see if the next set will do it, but just say, nope, you know what, bye. That's so not player friendly. Like, if I want to do that, I'd go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is just pseudo rotation. At that point, just rotate, create an eternal format, and then at least people can just play the eternal format if they want to play the deck. I don't know. Clearly, I'm biased. I'm a previous Magic player, and I get people who come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Are more accustomed to this pseudo rotation way. But at least I feel there needs to be some kind of predictability if they feel like they need to shape the meta every time a new set comes out. And mind you, this is coming from someone who hasn't even been totally directly impacted by the bans. As far as the Surge leaders go, I decided to main Surge Coup. And, like, Surge Coup is literally the best cards in the format deck. Like, I can just... First off, Surge Coup's fine on his own. Or I can just slap him into, like, I don't know, Vajenks or something next set. Like, it's really fine. There's no issue there. I'm not that stressed about it. And I'm playing Invoker main right now anyways. So, like, literally nothing got touched. I just think this way of going about it is super user unfriendly. And I just wish we got some insight into, what's going to move in and out if they do decide that they should be the ones to cater the meta. And if you're going to cater to the meta, then at least do it in a way that, me and other players will know what's coming so that we don't just get cucked out of our decks. Because we don't have an eternal format. We don't have a format that says you can play whatever you want. So these cards are just gone. And honestly, I think I'd rather... And side note, you guys should just ban Piccolo. His errata makes him completely unplayable. Oh well. Either way, I didn't want my first one back to be a rant video, but I just figured I'd be another voice in the rampage that's going on in the different Facebook pages right now. But either way, this has been me. Look forward to my Archetype 101s. They're coming back in with set 10, as well as my brief update on how Dragon Ball is done since we've been gone. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.